and entertainment with Marianah Lourens. Ja, Kuns en Vermaak met Marianah Lourens. I'm here at a very unusual place for me to record. I'm at AFDA. It is such a nice, cozy little... Is this a tea room, Gemma?
Yeah, it's the canteen.
The canteen. I have some of the Midsummer Night's Dream people here. I have our director, Gemma Barnard.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
And then cast members, Vanessa Grebe.
Vanessa Grebe.
Oh, asseblief.
My dad was English.
Somewhere there was a Germanic, Germanic.
But my dad was very English.
Because it was very, German is very much Grebe.
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
But
anyway, I
anyway,
always pronounce it that way because my dad did. So.
and you are,
I'm playing Titania, the fairy queen.
and then we have,
Lily, Vatsha, and I am playing Puck, who is the cause of the chaos in the play.
and I'm sure there's a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Because Midsummer Night's Dream is not what you would think when you hear Shakespeare. Really is different.
Yeah.
It is different. So Gemma, would you like to just...
For this version, we're going very 70s, 80s and psychedelic. It's very much that era of, make love, not war. We've got some hippie clothes going on, tie-dye shirts. Everyone's having a good time. Shakespeare has its magical things. I mean, if you look at the Scottish play, there's the witches, for example, but they're a lot darker. You've got your romance stories and you've got your tragedies and your all sorts of things. This has got a little bit of everything. There's comedy, there's lovers, there's magic, which I think makes it quite special. It's one of my favorites. This and Romeo and Juliet are two of my favorites, but this one creeping up there a little bit to take number one. I think it's the magical element that sort of changes it from your regular Shakespeare. And there's a lot of different stuff that you can do with this, and I feel like this lends itself to opening up a more magical and colourful door, whereas some of the other ones don't always allow that.
Indeed, because you can make use of music.
We do. There's a lot. We've got about 5 dance numbers in the show. There's a lot of different music and sound elements that we're bringing in. Music and lighting, especially, it's going to create that magical feel. I actually, funny enough, had another meeting with Dave Limbert, and we sat and we really plowed through a lot of stuff. He's doing our lighting design for us.
The choreographer is Nikki Raping.
Yes, Nikki.
And I guess some lovely dancers.
There's some contemporary elements and a little bit of classical, but it's very strange and a very heavy mix and match of different. You'll see when you watch my dances, there's a lot of cultural mishmash going on, which is really, really amazing.
So it's a nice cultural mix.
Oof, It's amazing. It looks great so far, yeah.
And Vanessa, tell us about your character.
Titania she's obviously the fairy queen, and she's very much the lady, but she is strong-willed. She has a mind of her own, and I think she knows how to stand her ground with regards to her Oberon.
Oberon is played by
Francis. He's also somewhat of a newcomer. He came to auditions, funny enough, with his wife, Tennille, who was playing Helena. He wasn't going to audition and all that stuff, and we sort of look, you know what happens when you come to an audition? You've got myself and Helen and Leslie all going, don't you want to read? And then, he went up and he read, and we were like, well, that solves that problem. He was lovely. He's got an amazing, heavy set voice. He's doing...
So he had the voice you needed.
Yes, very, very. And the
wonderful.
physicality and the height as well, which is really nice.
That's wonderful, because that happens, doesn't it? When somebody comes just to watch a family member or whatever, and then they get pulled in.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to discover new hidden talent.
Oh, yeah.
I've just been so amazed and just encouraged by the incredible new talent that we have, which is awesome, and it's wonderful to see.
And of course, they all pointed at you, Lily.
Yeah.
So tell us about you.
Yeah, so this is my first ever production. I did play around with theatre in school, but it was never anything serious. It's been an adventure. It's been a journey, tapping into this playfulness that Puck is. In the beginning, I kind of struggled with, but as time has gone on, I've sort of immersed myself in it. It's kind of become a part of who I am as well. The moment I walk in, I'm like, okay, giddy, playful, and it's something that I've just made a part of me, and it's just been such a wonderful experience. Just the growth that I've had through Gemma, through everyone else, just seeing just how like profound everyone is and how awesome they are and how like encouraging as well. It's been really splendid. It's been very splendid. I'm enjoying myself a lot. Yeah.
What better show than A Midsummer
because
Night's
it's
Dream?
got this like very playful element as well that we all just have to like tap into, and it's just awesome seeing everyone sort of let loose on stage. Generally you find that people can be quite restrained and stuff like that, but here with the cast, like everyone's just doing the most odd things and just immersing themselves in it, and it's just so much fun.
Do you dance or sing? Or?
So I don't, but I was discovered and selected as a dancer, even though my whole family will tell you that I cannot move, but according to Gemma and Nikki I can, so that's a plus, something that I learned about myself through this experience. Like tapped into moving a lot, and I'm still sort of trying to get it right as like time goes on, obviously, but yeah, it's been quite fun.
Yes, and talking about Nikki, I mean, she'll get you to make
for sure.
And you keep using the word tap. Is it some tap in it? Because I know she teaches tap. We are talking about you, Nikki.
With Nikki, it's, every day is kind of sort of different, but in the best way. We often talk a lot during the day here and there, and we throw a lot of ideas around. So if there was tap, I would not be surprised if she came to me and said, I'm doing a tap piece. I wouldn't be surprised. But no, at the moment, it's very contemporary and modern and a little bit of traditional even, I think, in there.
Oh, lovely. So it's like wait and see anyway.
Oh, yes.
Because it's developing.
Well, you got 5 numbers to see. So, yeah.
It is developing.
Yes, yeah.
And of course, Gemma, you and I go back a long, long time because I think you were still a kid in school. Here she is, a young lady being a director of Midsummer Night's Dream, and you're an AFDA graduate.
Yes, yeah.
So you're also into filmmaking and so on, live performance, mostly live performance.
I specialized in live performance, so stage and screen acting, but since my 3rd year, going into my honors year in 2021, and even now, I've sort of branched into things like filmmaking or videography, editing, those sorts of things. And funny enough, my stage manager, Danny, she's still currently an AFDA student in her 3rd year, and she's doing City. And it's been quite interesting. Her and I have partnered up quite a bit now, because I've also very recently sort of started my own production company.
Yes,
so
I was going to ask you about GB.
So I started a production company called Gemma Barnard Productions, and sort of been selling ourselves as sort of anything and everything in terms of we offer performance, we offer advertisement videos, filmmaking, film expertise. And what's really nice is that if there are elements or disciplines that I don't specialize in, for example, I'm not a cinematographer, but Danny is. It's a lovely way for me to bring in other people that have other skills that maybe I don't have. So not only are we teaming up and I'm giving other people sort of a leeway to do stuff, but we're also getting to do what we want and have fun and create things, which is ultimately what I want to do with my life, is to create things,
Indeed, and it's really, really a wonderful thought for me to think that you played the
duckling.
The grandchild.
Yes.
How many times were you my grandchild?
Or a grandchild. My first show was in 2006, which Leslie and Helen directed. I was the monkey in Aladdin.
That's right. And I mean, I've been on stage with you many times, so that's
Quite
actually what I'm trying to say. So that's why I've known her almost all her life.
I've seen all the growth.
All the growth.
Not that there's much. I mean, I'm so short.
But you're versatile.
Metaphorical growth.
My favorite line, though she be but little, she is fierce. That's how I sign off a lot of my letters nowadays.
I want to say though
that as well.
that you did get a bit taller. You became a bit taller because you were very little then.
Thank you so much. Hey, maybe like half a head.
You were in primary school, so I mean, really. And Vanessa, I remember seeing you on stage with Gino Fabry, where you were singing.
That was a long time ago.
How long ago? How long ago?
I can't even remember, to be honest.
It's
I'm going to give my
long.
age away. But yeah, I did many years ago, I did some backing vocals for some centre stage productions.
Yes, centre stage. Yeah. That's where I used to watch you, listen to you, admire you, and then eventually got to know you a little bit with different shows. Not too many though, because you stayed away off the stage.
Yes.
And then then you came with a vengeance because then we were together in Matilda.
Yeah, so I took a long sabbatical. I did obviously a lot of shows just out of school for about 10 years. And sort of the last production I did was Guys and Dolls with Robin Williams. I played Adelaide. That was my first introduction to comedy, which I loved because I didn't realize that I could do comedy. I didn't know that I enjoyed it. And so then after that, I did a brief cameo in Beauty and the Beast with Greg Everhart, who directed, and I played Babette, French feather duster.
Yes.
And then, interesting story, speaking about Shakespeare, so Gemma and I then did Romeo and Juliet together.
Yes, yeah, 2020.
2020, and
Yeah.
we'll never forget it. Gemma's mom, Leslie, was directing. It was the first time I'd been on the stage in a long time as well. I was playing Lady Capulet.
Yes.
And Gemma was playing Juliet. I was obviously her mother. And we had 3 runs. It was incredible. And it was actually my first Shakespeare production. And then we had COVID. We had 3 runs, then they locked us down. And then obviously, as we know, that there was like nothing.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. And that was also the last production that we had in Manville, which was...
Yes, exactly. I remember that so well. I mean, I remember all your shows. I'm a granny, but I do remember.
So that was like just getting a taste of like being back on the horse, so to speak, again. And then, as you know, last year we did Matilda. And when I saw the show and the characters, I auditioned and I ended up playing Mrs. Wormwood, which was amazing. So it really was a comeback in a sense for me.
A big time comeback.
Yeah. And it was wonderful. I loved it. And that also reignited my passion for the theatre because I realized for a long time it was a part of me that I suppressed. So that's why after Matilda, I also, what I've done this year, not to make it about me, but I've enrolled in doing my Trinity, which is always something that I wanted to do and put off for many years. And also with that, it's never too late and you're never too old.
Yeah.
So I did my first exam this year, my performance exam, and then now doing Midsummer Night's Dream, which I've also realized, again, it's important for me to, now that I'm sort of on the horse again, so to speak, I don't want to lose touch with it. So if I can, my goal is sort of if I can do one production a year, be it last year was a musical, this year it's Shakespeare, something different. And again, you grow, it shows versatility as a performer, and it's great to work
And
with,
you're filling
with
the
Gemma.
gaps. That is so wonderful because the whole thing is that you are versatile. You can do it all. And we can all do it if we have to. If we put in that box, we do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Versatility comes obviously with challenges.
Indeed. Now,
But so
let's get to Lily. Because she says, I didn't do much in school maybe. So what did you do in school?
I was at collegiate. I was in the hostel and I directed house plays quite often and I wrote the scripts for the house plays as well. That's essentially the basis of what I did. I think I was on stage once or twice. I've done Knock on Wood as well, where I did a monologue. That's the extent of my theatre sort of experience apart from this. That was a long time ago.
We worked together once, and brilliant writer, I will say.
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm most comfortable writing and all of that. But I found that now, this is also something that I'm becoming more comfortable with, and I definitely...
With Jacques Batista? Okay,
no,
because I know
I
he
knew
did
him.
something.
I didn't do drama. I did it as I didn't do it as
because
a subject.
Because he did something...
Yeah, no, he taught drama at school.
At collegiate. That's why I thought maybe you grabbed some shoulders.
I knew him, but I did drama as a hobby, not as a subject at school, and he taught. So he did help us with like the house plays and stuff like that, but it wasn't really too involved with him at all.
Jacques, we're skinnering about you as well. He's quite an amazing person.
But yeah, he's phenomenal.
So how
very
did
passionate.
you get to audition?
One of my co-workers, actually I work at Kumon, and one of my co-workers, her name is Rin Kuzain, she and her sister had said they were auditioning, and I just kind of overheard them and I was like, can I join you guys? Literally just off on a whim. They were like, yeah, sure. And so we all came together and we did it, and I got this part, which was like quite a surprise. It's very surprising because it is quite a big part. Yeah, that's how I came into it, like last minute sort of rush decision, not planned out at all. And I suppose the universe was on my side and put this in my path, and it's been very fun.
We just said versatile. You can write, you can direct.
Yeah, I think I'm an inherently like quite an artistic person. Art is how I relay my soul to the world, if that makes sense. And so it's very easy to tap into that like facet of myself, and just as I grow up, like finding new ways to do that and not what I've always always done. It's just been very broadening experience for my sense of self as well. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the way you find out what you can do. Gemma, we need to get to the dates for the show.
Yes. We run from the 5th of September to the 16th of September. We're also doing web ticket, very similar to how we did like the Panto and how we did Matilda. Web ticket,
Pick and
go
Pay.
through Pick and Pay as well.
And is it open yet for booking?
I believe it is open, yes.
Okay.
It is on web ticket. Last I heard, we are open. And all
Fine.
the information will be there in terms of times and dates.
And it's going to be at the Little Theatre,
Yes.
which is a very traditional theatre, although traditionally it was done at Manville
Yes,
in St.
yeah.
George's Park, but we can't do it there anymore.
It's very sad. It's just unfortunately not safe anymore.
And also they've stolen all the stuff.
Well, there we go.
I mean, let's not go there. So it is definitely going to be an amazing thing
Yes, yeah.
in the Little Theatre, A Midsummer Night's Dream. 5 to 16 September.
Yeah.
Get your tickets. So easy today because everybody's got their system.
You can also
So-
have a look on our Instagram page. Our web ticket link will also be on there as well.
Exactly.
And Facebook, it's everywhere there.
Yes, it's everywhere on Facebook. And it's actually at PMADS
Yes.
as well. PEMADS, as you say it. Just go to PMADS and you've got all the info, web ticket or Pick and Pay. So if you happen to be going to Pick and Pay, just get your ticket there. Otherwise, go on your system. Grannies like me will go to Pick and Pay, probably. Nothing wrong with
Do
that.
your shopping and you get a ticket. It's from results. It's easy.
Yeah.
Double
one stone.
blessing. Be blessed doubly. I can't wait to see you guys. And I want to just say, break them legs.
Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
do you know what it means to break a leg?
Yes, I do. I do.
You know it's not literally
Yeah,
the breaking
I
of
do.
legs. Tell us.
It means essentially good luck.
Yes, but it did mean in the old times, before there were curtains to draw, there was things standing up like a screen and they had to open it. So those legs had to be broken
Break a leg
to go through to watch the show. You can go and Google it as well.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I didn't know the backstory at all.
knowledge.
And,
Yeah.
and you can see if I'm correct in that history. I was surprised to know what it
yeah.
meant because
And
you're
the
telling
legs,
people
and
to
the legs
break
of
a
the stage
leg.
as well, yeah.
Do you want them to break a leg just before they go on stage? No. Blessings. That's what
you.
I
Thank you
say.
so much.
And it
you.
was so nice to have you, Gemma.
Thank you. Thank
Gemma
you.
Barnard, Vanessa Grebe, with a B, and Lily Vatsha. And I'm
Yes.
saying that correctly.
Yes, you are. It's perfect. It's perfect pronunciation.
So I can't wait to see you all. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And I want to say watch your space. And now from Marianah Lourens and Art and Entertainment, Marianah Lourens, Kuns en Vermaak. Tyd om te groet. Arrivederci.